Hey, what's going on, everybody? MysterySchooler here. Back with another presentation. Today we're covering Grandi Tartaria. Tartary. Yeah, we're going to do some Antiquitech. How's everyone today? Gosh, I miss every single one of you when I have to take long breaks like that. Believe me, if it was up to me, I wouldn't work at all. Glad to be back. This is a long one, guys. Strap in. We get some popcorn, chill. We've got a lot of topics to cover today. We've got antique tech. We got the giants of North America. Strap in, guys. We're going over old books from the 1700s. We got aerostatics from the 1700s as well. Aerostatic cavalry from Paris. Yeah, stick around, guys. This is an interesting one. Thank you all for being here. We're just going to jump right into it then. Tartary or Tatari was a blanket term used in Western European literature and cartography for a vast part of Asia, bounded by the Caspian Sea and Ural Mountains, the Pacific Ocean, and the northern borders of China. So this bordered a lot of places, India and Persia, at a time when this region was allegedly largely unknown to European geographers. Now that's the story, guys. You're going to see up here by this map just how detailed and how much they actually knew about this place. So to me, the story just from the start doesn't add up. I mean, how do you acquire so much territory, right? Even in this time period, maintain such borders and border so many nations and remain unknown? Hmm. Were these guys running out of history, possibly? That's what I think. I think that the Tartarians and all those guys got run out of history because I know Tartar's another word for a thief. Tartar on your teeth, it's bad, right? It's like they changed their name to a curse word so they'd be remembered as a curse word or something weird like that, right? But when I saw this, when I first saw this map, I tripped out. I was like, what? That used to be Russia? It's funny too because I like to read both sides. I like to read the critics too because I just want to know the truth. You know what I'm saying? So I read the critics' sites about these kinds of topics too, and they say things like, "Oh, you guys are just ignorant. You're ignorant of Asian history." I'm like, okay, that might be the case. And the person leaves a link. I'm like, cool. I click on the link, right? What do you think? It's just a link that leads to a basic Wikipedia page about general Chinese history, all the stuff you learn in high school and stuff. Like nothing about this at all. You know what I mean? So it's like, really? That's the counter argument. So, anyways, yeah, just check it out. Grandi Tartary, huh? I mean, I didn't learn about this in high school, that's for sure. And the skeptic was no help, so that's not good. Here. Now, according to Matthew Paris, King Louis of France, 11th of France, hearing the news, ninth of France, I think. I'm sorry, guys. About the hellish ravages of Mongol forces invading Europe, said of the so called Tartars, well, may they be called Tartars, for their deeds are those of fiends from Tartarus. So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting reference he makes there, like Greek mythology reference there. French guy, right? Which, of course, was the Latin name for Hades. Thus, the corruption Tartars was supposedly coined, basically calling the Mongol hordes demons from hell, as the West did not have much concrete knowledge of the political geography of the region from whence these hordes had come. Now, that's the official story, guys, and that's pretty much it too. Like, there's not much more information about this Grandi Tartary besides that. It's mostly this quote from a king, European king, Louis. So I wrote here in the green, we're supposed to believe that this map is based off of a 15-word quote from a king. Like, do you realize how much of a detailed and established art form cartography was at this point? Look how accurate everything else is. We've been in this horse before on this channel, but I'm going to do it again. The ancient map makers weren't stupid, guys. They knew what they were doing. Any nation that can maintain such borders would be far beyond the level of demon hordes, right? Like, this is a lame hand wave dismissal at best. Yeah, they say the Europeans didn't know about them. They were unknown. And, look how much of Europe is bordered by this. How could you possibly not know? What? Half of Europe is bordered by this darn thing? Give me a break, dude. Yeah, they have so little information on such a large neighboring nation. And what I thought was interesting about here is that they tell us that these guys are the Mongolians. You know, this turns into these are the Mongolians, Mongolian hordes, these Tartars, right? But you notice here on this map, just north of Indy, you can see the Empire Mogul, which turns into the Mongol Empire later. You know what I mean? So it's like, what? So there's the Mongols that they don't know about or whatever mapped. Then why is there a distinction between them and Grand Tartary if the Mongols? If Grand Tartary is unknown, right? I'm confused. Yeah, so we get actual depictions of the guys from Tartaria or whatever you want to call it. These guys that got written out, which I just want to say they look really gypsy to me, right? And where are gypsies from when you look into it, right? They're just like a displaced people from where, right? What do we know about them? They're mystical, the gypsies, right? They're usually associated with divination and things like that, about being clairvoyant and things like that, right? You like that movie Thinner, right? So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Mongolian demon hordes from hell. I don't think so. I think these guys got run out of history. That's what I think happened. I think there was a big war, too. And you notice not much time later is a total etymology shift, That's not Mongolian. Just saying. Yeah, we've covered this before, but they pin a lot of inconvenient truths on cartography errors, Like the island of California, for example. This map, there's multiple versions of this map, different versions. I'm sorry, there's multiple maps from different cartographers, right, depicting California as an island. There's lots of legends talking about the island of California and its Queen Khalifa, So, yeah, it's interesting. There's griffins, all kinds of stuff associated with legends, but a lot of people see it and they map it like this. And people say, it's a cartography error. It's like, if you look just east of California, island California, northeast, you can see these islands. Was this all a mistake too? Everything else is so accurate. Look, they got the rivers going, right? They mapped everything so accurately. They just accidentally made a California giant island. Everybody does it when they go by. They think we're stupid and they tell us, oh, it's just a mistake, and they move on. It's like, nah, man, the water's not finished receding at that point yet or something, right? Or I don't know. You tell me. Here's another one. They tell us this one's a work of fiction. Hey, Flat Sabbath, what's up, buddy? Welcome, man. Thanks for being here. Yeah, thank you. Man, these maps trip me out, bro. I don't get how more people don't talk about this, right? Check out, here's another one. They tell us this one's a work of fiction. Look, California is an island again. And check out the Great Lakes. See, the Great Lakes is like one big lake. See that? I guess it's still technically right, but you get what I'm saying. It's all one body of water right there, like a big circle. And I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Great Lakes disaster or catastrophe or something like that. Late 1800s, I believe. It was a celestial event. A lot of people saw it. And yeah, like a comet hit or something up there. And it kind of reminds me of the Atlantis legends, the near Florida comet hit. I mean, it's not really near Florida, kind of. I don't know, tripping me out, though. Tripping me out. So, yeah, this is my logic on it, guys. History is written by the victors, right? The quote gets attributed to Winston Churchill, but its origins are unknown. It implies that history is not grounded in facts. Rather, it's the winner's interpretation of them that prevails. The victors can force their narrative down on the people. So, to me, this quote is solid logic, and most people would agree that history is written by the victors. Yet, when we try to figure out who was written out of history, we're called crazy. If you understand this quote as truth, then you understand we can't go to the mainstream narrative to figure out who was written out of history. Obviously, hello, they were written out, remember? How are you going to quote the mainstream narrative at me, right? When the whole point is we're looking for who could have been written out, okay? It's so funny. Some of the skeptics come and they go, they use maps. They try to use maps as evidence. Like, that's a bad thing, right? Yeah, you're damn right, use maps as evidence. Now, we could keep going into Tartaria, and what this ends up being is looking at old buildings and how they're sunken and stuff like that. We're going to do that a little bit here, but we're not going to beat it too much because a lot of other channels cover it, and I'd rather go on with the subject. So if you want to learn more, if you haven't heard of this kind of stuff, alternative history, whatever, I would definitely check out Mind Unveiled. They have a great channel. UAP, John Levi. They do a Tartaria Explain series. Really good job of it. Great photos. Yeah, so now we're going to take a look at some antique tech, some buried buildings. Let's get into it. Yeah, definitely check out some other channels, guys, because one does not simply watch one YouTube video on YouTube. Hey, what's up, Dad?
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
Brother?
Live, baby, live.
Yeah, buddy. You gonna hit the car? I'm gonna take off for a
No, we're good.
minute.
Yeah, we're good.
I'll see you later.
Thanks, Dad. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So, was the Ark technology that survived the deluge? I mean, really look at this picture. Do you guys think that these people understand how this works? Or did these guys just find this technology, huh? Did these guys survive the cataclysm and just stumble upon all this stuff, this tech, called it magic, God's magical equipment, right? And it's really just some advanced technology you're walking around with. Maybe they figured out they could fry people with it. They point in the right direction, right? Because I don't know. I just get the vibe these guys didn't make this stuff, you know? Now, this is cool because I'd like to think I studied the art quite a bit, but I didn't know there was cherubim on top of it. I thought they were little angels, and I didn't realize they were like little satyr-looking people. Actually kind of demonic-looking almost. Yeah, and in the back we got the grown-up cherubim, looks like, or adult, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, this is on top of the ark. What the hell is this? You know, we see schematics and stuff from Tartaria and things like older nations like that, and you can see that the statues actually have like piping and technology. Like what they do is they put their technology inside of the statues to mask it. You know, the same way your computer has a tower. You know, your computer is in a case, right? It's not just sitting loose, all the pieces out, right? Even though it would still work, it's in a tower to protect it. It's the same for these. It's the same with this. They would do it with statues. But that's what I think when I see this kind of stuff. Yeah, Flat Sabbath says old maps usually has sea serpents near their edges. Yeah, it's incredible. You pretty much can't look at old maps without seeing things like that. And people are like, oh, they drew, you know, they drew the maps with monsters to scare people from going there. Yeah, right, dude. And meanwhile, all the mythology or legends, right, old stories are consistent. There are monsters and stuff out there. And doesn't it make sense? I mean, let's talk about the ocean for a second, huh? Animals grow to their environment. The ocean is a gigantic body. It's huge, so it makes sense that it's super deep underwater that things get really, really big. Like, it makes sense to me there'd be giant serpents around, especially if the waters were disturbed, right? Like with a big flood. Yeah, Flat Sabbath says, where is the Ark of the Covenant now, I wonder? Yeah, well, the Vatican's got it, right? I don't know. The Smithsonian's got it, buddy. They got that shit under wraps, huh? You know what I kind of wonder is how many arcs are there really, right? Like, is there one arc, or is there like, is this just the technology that's like, you know, they had these all over the place or what, right? This was just a surviving one. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, look closely or more closely. There it is, guys. We got the two cherubim on top right there, and even in this painting from much later, right? Interesting. So that must be an accurate depiction. I can't really see in the painting, but it almost looks like they have human-looking feet, though, not cherubim-looking feet. Maybe that was something that got lost in time from between the painter and the illustrator here, whatever you want to call it. I thought you guys who are into melted brick and mountains being melted castles and that whole topic, I thought you guys are really good at kicking that out of this one. I translated this one. I was just looking through old images. It says in a cave erected by the angels. Huh? Now, this might be confusing for some, but I'll try to clarify it. A lot of people theorize that Jesus and the rapture and all that stuff actually already happened, and he already reigned here for 1,000 years and all that stuff. 1,000 years of heaven and earth, all that stuff already happened. That's where all this massive, insane architecture comes from, and all this stuff. And the mountains used to be castles of this kingdom. I'm not saying this is fact, guys. I'm just saying how it goes. Okay, I don't know, but I just think it's interesting that this translate is in a cave erected by the angels, right? And we look what's in there. This stuff looks like the same kind of. It's not the ark on top of the pedestal on the left, but the pedestal itself looks the same. And I wonder what is that? It's like an egg. It's like an oval they got on there. What kind of icon is that? Right? Some kind of tech, maybe. Oh yeah, Flat Sabbath says maybe it powers CERN. Yeah, bro. I mean, what are they doing over there, right? You ever heard of a tokamak or whatever it's called? It's like an ancient version of like the CERN, basically. They did this stuff in the past, and like I don't know, man. In my opinion, we shouldn't be messing with that stuff at all. Not to mention all the money they spent on it, right? Without our consent. Anywho, welcome everybody. This is one of my favorite lines from The Matrix. I'm just going to read it out real quick. You felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me, Morpheus. Ooh. Real quick, I want to say about The Matrix. Neo is no baby truther, guys. Neo spends all day, every day doing his Neo alias. When he's not his alias Neo, he's just at work, right? He's Mr. Anderson. And he has to make his choice between choosing, right, to be Mr. Anderson or to choose to be Neo, right? I think a lot of us here choose to be Neo. Give me a little chance to clarify my username here, because a lot of people don't know. This is where I came up with my username. One of the quotes, the great mystery schools. This is Thoth from the Emerald Tablets. He says, "The great aim of the mystery schools of all ages has been to reveal the workings of the law which connect man the material and man the spiritual. The connecting link between the material man and the spiritual man is the intellectual man, for the mind partakes of both the material and immaterial qualities." Huh? The aspirant for higher knowledge must develop the intellectual side of his nature and so strengthen his will that is able to concentrate all powers of his being on and in the plane he desires. Thoth. Ooh. Here we are, guys. Hey, all right. We got spirit levels in the house. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome. I've been busy myself, working. Hey, welcome everybody. Oh, no way. We got Flatzoid's perspective in the house. What's up, buddy? Hey, that was a great live stream. I enjoyed it. Yeah, Cavendish, right? Yeah. Thanks for being here, everybody. You guys rock. Now, you guys have probably seen this before, but we see a lot of imagery like this, and it's like it almost seems like our ancestors' job was just to dig this stuff out. Like something happened, like some kind of big flood, like in the legends, and big flood, big mud, a lot of dirt moving around, buried everything, maybe, because I used to not really look into this one as mysterious much. It didn't really click for me, but now it is really starting to. Like, just how deep does this go, right? Look at this. Does this person on the street level above know that They have like a giant mansion below their feet they could probably live in for like rent free or something. Like, look at that. Holy crap. How deep does it go exactly? Look on the right too, you can see this old, cathedral doing the same thing. We find lots of pictures like this from the late 1800s or early 1900s where there's just lots of people like digging out like half buried giant structures like cathedrals, and it's just weird, man. Yeah, I mean, what's that all about, right? See the construction layer in the middle there, guys, and underneath? How deep does it go? And what else is underground? All those government bases and stuff. Interesting. Santos live chat. I'm not sure, man. Santos. I'm not familiar. Yeah, Cabin Dork. Yeah. Bro, I like science. I really do. And I hate how they try to label us anti-science, but like, how does that demonstrate mass attracts mass? Like, it just doesn't. Like, give me a break, dude. You got some dangling piece of garbage hanging from the ceiling. It's dangling. Therefore, the planets spin around planets. That drives me crazy. Anyways. Yeah, history is not what we were told for sure. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. I mean, think about it. If they told us the truth, it'd be over for them, right? They'd have no power. Yeah, I mean, what's this all about, guys? Like, look how deep this is buried. Oh, Santos Fibonacci. Okay. No, I don't think I was on there, but I'm familiar with it, with him. Yeah, check this out, guys. Look how deep this is buried. Look, it's buried halfway up the giant door, by the way, which is another recurring theme you're going to notice with these cathedrals. These just the whole thing is built like nobody is like everybody is 50 feet tall or something, right? What the hell? All the doorways are so tall, everything just completely buried. Look, yeah, man. I think in the ancient times there were super big people, and I'm starting to think the really big lie is it my hypothesis or whatever you want to call it. So they were big not that long ago, even a couple hundred years ago, or they might have been 14, 15 feet. I don't know, because this is just incredible, this architecture you see on this stuff. And something definitely happened. I mean, what buried this cathedral halfway up, right? Give me a break. The legends are consistent with giant people. The architecture is consistent with giant people. The cataclysms are consistent with the legends, right? The damage we see on the architecture that's consistent with the giant people is also consistent with the damage that's in the myth. Like, come on, it's not a myth, Legends aren't myths. They're just old stories, and they get convoluted, and we're like, no. Yes, God, yes. It's all over the place. It's been hidden right in front of us this whole time. Right? This really weirds me out. We're going to start getting into antique tech now. Now, guys, when you notice these big spires on the left and the right here, now, at first I thought these could have been electrical. And I noticed in the front here, there is lots of arcing electricity. And I know already people are going to say there's fireworks. Yeah, there are fireworks. There are fireworks going off. But there's also something else going on here. And I think they would celebrate when they'd kick this technology off, like a big power grid. Oh, yeah, the red-haired giants in Afghanistan. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard a story. What channel was I watching? Universe Inside You channel. She told a story pretty good. Some Marines or some special forces dude shot a giant in the face a bunch of times. Some giant in the caves was trying to kill him or something. Yeah. Yeah, that red hair stuff is interesting, right? Because, again, right, the Bible says there were giants. I'm sorry, the Hopi say there were red hair giants, in North America, and consistently there are stories of red hair giants in North America, particularly the Grand Canyon, right? So what a coincidence, huh? Why do you think they bastardized red hair so much? Even in today's society, where you can't even sneeze the wrong way without offending somebody, it's still wrong. It's still considered okay to make fun of people with red hair, right? You see what I mean? Now, I'm going to get into more detail about this in a second, but I want you guys to pay attention to this. Now, can you see S right there? All the pillars labeled S on the corners, and underneath them, there's that circle, and it's like spewing out smoke. You see this? Now, pay attention to that. And so also, I want you to pay attention to where the main gate would be. See, directly above, you got that pentagon. Yeah, pay attention to that because it's going to come up in other images coming up too. But I knew this was tech when I was looking at it, but I never really understood how or why exactly. I think we're starting to narrow it down. I got this information from the channel Mind Unveiled, but someone was nice enough to translate it for us. Now check out this depiction, guys. You see on the right, you see on the top of this tower, you see similar holes emitting smoke, right? Now on the left, we're going to go over the translation more in a few slides, but it's basically saying there are burning waste and pee, and they're mixing it with chemicals so they can make giant clouds, so that they can make so they can harness from the clouds electricity. So they would make like really thick clouds of nasty, right? And they would harness the radiant energy. I'm about to show you the patterns on how this works in a second, so hang in there, okay? On the left, they're depicting it. See the tower making the so it's geoengineering, and way back then there was a smoke cloud. The smoke cloud is going over to the figure on the right, and you can see it harnessing the energy. Don't worry, guys, I got that. Now again, I added some arrows just to see the smoke coming out there. All right, here it is. Ignited air / gases / vapors are more mixed, is more heterogeneous. In this way, is lit like the nitrous sulfurous smoke steam superior clouds. Sulfurous smoke steam superior clouds downglide with great impetus into inferior clouds and their extremes, and due to nearby air pressure caused by the shortness narrows of the waves paths going out more easily, concurring with inferiors, and the vehement agitations separated and incense from cavity erupt with great fragor through hiatus. Seems pretty advanced and pretty detailed. Like I don't think this is ye old tower. You get what I'm saying? You can see even better on the right here. They're using it's moving to the right, to the tower on the right. Yeah, exactly. Geoengineering. Now here's another depiction, right? See, I don't know. I've had people tell me this one doesn't look like fireworks to me. I've never seen fireworks like that. I don't know what fucking planet you've been watching fireworks on, but yeah. Again, at the top, we noticed from earlier, I told you to pay attention to. That circle looks like the sun, right? Well, they worship the sun because it's hot. They worship the sun because it's hot. No, there was more going on, guys. there was more going on. Check this out. Though, huh? You can see all the electricity in the air, and you can see, and they tell us in yeah, they had no way, huh? Mm-hmm. And I'm starting to wonder if they had if they had geoengineering, like just for to harness energy. Did they have it for like war for weapons? Because there are lots of depictions of clouds raining down death on people, like seen a minute ago. So I'd really appreciate it. You guys got any friends you want to bring over here? This is gonna be a crazy one. Now, guys, this is I can't tell if this is a real photo or it's a photo. You can see here very clearly on the right, and yes, there are fireworks. Okay. Oh yeah, Flatzoid. I'm about to show the Tesla's patent for the harnessing radiant energy or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to show it in a second, but check this out. On the left, you can see the lightning rods, right, on the top of the structures, and on the right, you can see there's like more technology looking spires, these towers, right, and they're emitting smoke. The people are I noticed the people are cheering. They don't look like they're sad or they're angry, right? So I think they're happy. This thing is giving them energy. I mean, you can see. Look at the arrows, guys. You can see the electricity arcing to the lightning rods. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how a lightning jar works, but you can harness. You can straight up harness electricity in a jar. I mean, I'm about to show you guys images from the late 1800s of houses where it shows the lightning rod on the top connecting all the way down to the bottom in a lightning jar stored underground. Hey, what's up, Parkway? Welcome. Good to see you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Yeah, tip of the iceberg, guys. Believe me, this is going to be a great presentation. Stick around. Now, I don't know if I can make it any more clear than this, guys. Like, if you see this and you're still not getting what I'm trying to say here, then I get like this is on the top. What we just went over, right? How they're making. Yeah, look, and you can see on the bottom, it's exactly what's happening. They reverse the image on the bottom. There. You know what I mean? There. That's exactly what's happening. They're making artificial clouds so they can harness electricity in the what's it called? Discharge zone, static zone, whatever it's called, depletion zone. Yeah, Flatsway perspective brings up a good point here. Like, this is a super efficient. If this was real, which it is, this is a really efficient way to harness energy. I mean, give me a break, right? And people will tell me, why would they do this? Why would they keep this from us? Hello, trillions of dollars of corporate interest. They charge us for energy, guys, and it's a really expensive, dirty ass energy they make when we could be, burning landfills and just aren't doing it this way. Yeah, you guys ever see a curved level? I haven't. I went to Home Depot. I looked everywhere. I said, "Can I get a curved one of these levels?" They were like, "Nope." Moving on. And this is what I was just telling you guys about. Okay, on the left is a lightning jar. Okay, I got this image from the. On the right, you can see they have lightning rods on the ceiling connecting all the way down. How it works, guys. People, they call it conspiracy theorists. Like, bro, the patents and stuff from Tesla are you guys seen this stuff before? This is straight up how it works. Here's another depiction of what I was just telling you guys. What the hell? I mean, this stuff isn't new. Like, look at this. Look at this image on the right. How old do you think that image is? That's from the 1700s. Of the book I got that from. Yeah, I think that they were hard. Well, if you put if something high enough in the air, it just makes energy itself, you know. Like, and you ground it. Okay, if you just get a solid piece of copper and stand it up and put it in the ground, that thing will generate electricity. It can you can harness with an electrostatic motor. You can harness energy from it. But yeah, they were harnessing their own energy for sure. I don't think they were being charged for it. You know, it was like a global thing. And we're about to go into this. Well, about 20 slides or so. We're going to get into Paris, 1700s Paris, and all the different flying technology they had, and all the schematics, and how complicated it is. Yeah, like, look, it's just another normal day, right? Look, a vacuum spatio over there, the freaking 1700s. Alchemy is much older than that. While we're on the topic of alchemy, real quick, I know everybody tries to make it out like it's something evil, but I'm, all means God, and chemi, you know, it's chemistry, so it's God's chemistry. So what did they do in modern days, right? Well, they took the God out of it, and that sounds about right. There's some copium over here, though, if you guys want some. It's super useful in situations like this. You're gonna need some for this presentation, I guarantee it. But yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. It's like, where's the debate, right? It's just a scratch. Scratch your arms off. Tesla's patent number 685,957. Uh, the harnessing and application of radiant energy. This is how it works. So basically, this is what the inside of those old towers and stuff probably looked like, you know, something like this. That figure in the top left is a lightning jar, but it could also be the sun. You could do both. Because you know the sun is not trillion jillion miles away. Okay, it's right there, and you can harness it. You know that's why Icarus's wings melt when he gets too close to the sun, because it's not a jillion miles away. You know, the lights from the sun come in divergent, but they're supposed to be parallel if we're on, you know, the model A plus we're on. So yeah, divergent sun rays. Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned Flatzoid. Flatzoid says makes me think of the different energy that the sun and moon give. Yeah, it's interesting. I've talked about that before, but you know, most people understand and it's established that, you know, you stand in the sunlight, the melanins get put into your, you know, the sun puts melanins into you basically daylight than it is at the shade at daytime. But at nighttime, the shade is hotter or it's cold in the shade at nighttime. So does the moon take melanins out of your skin, right? Yeah, maybe it's Kelvin, right? Yeah. I got more images on this one. You want to see, Flatzoid? Check it out. See this tower on the left? See how it's spewing out stuff? Looks like smoke to me. Right, this is a really old depiction, guys. I mean, this is so old. Look what we have going on in the middle at the bottom. Looks like we got some centaurs battling some giant men wielding trees. So just how old is engineering, huh? I mean, is that what we're seeing here? You tell me. So please help. Is there a historian? Just what the hell are we? I'm sure you guys have seen these ones before, but maybe this makes more sense to you, right? Up next, we got the Représentation du feu, d'artifice et d'illumination. So yeah, we got a representation of artificial light here. There it is in black and white, folks. I don't know what to say. Uh, I got this image from a Conspiracy RS channel as well. He does great work. And you guys are going to see we have another image just like this one, but there's people near it. And you're going to notice that the people are absolutely dwarfed by the architecture. Like when I first saw this image, I thought, okay, right, it's like a regular fountain or some big fountain, right? Like for, like a human built or something. But you're going to see this thing is like a person's like as tall as like the first 3 steps of this thing or something. You know what I mean? Like it's gigantic to scale. So it's like, who the fuck built this thing? Giant fountain of light? What the hell? There's that symbol again, guys. Take me back to the old world, buddy. This is a track from Final Fantasy. I absolutely love the music from Final Fantasy series. In my opinion, Nobuo Uematsu is the greatest composer who's ever lived. Wait, there was a flying guy, Flatzoid? No, I missed it. Damn it. I turned around for a second. There was a flying guy. Okay. Parkway says, God placed the lights in the firmament. Logic. Yep. That's it, baby. The firmament above. We need a closed system to have air pressure to breathe. We're in a closed system. In the current model that most people ascribe to, there's no separation. It's just gravity. It's just BS, dude. Yeah, Flatzoid says everything is always so symmetrical. Yeah, right. It's just so perfect. I also notice a lot of people when they're like, a lot of people who say that this, you could build this stuff back then and it's not that hard and blah blah blah. I usually notice these people aren't engineers and these people aren't carpenters. These people aren't people who actually build things, because anyone who actually builds something will tell you this stuff would be a freaking nightmare to do, especially considering the mainstream narrative tells us that these things were built in times when people, and it's like, yeah, they couldn't read and write. Anywho, here, risks were. I mean, I could tell you from a scientific standpoint. I'm not a scientist, but I could tell you right now, just from my understanding of the Tesla's patent we just showed you, that this would 100% work. Like this looks like something that would 100% work. So, I mean, they didn't have this back then. Fine. What is this? The year 1790 on this one, guys. So yeah, we have gosh, how high up do you think this obelisk is, guys? It's a lit up obelisk. They're dancing around it. I don't think it's a form of worship, though. You guys think they're worshiping this thing? Oh, there's a statue on top. Maybe it is some form of worship. Maybe it heals you, huh? Because I don't know if you guys know about red light therapy, but light actually can heal you. If you don't know about red light therapy, it's legit. The reason the red light heals you is because it's a very slow wave, so it can penetrate things. It penetrates your body. So I wonder, if you keep going down on the spectrum, electromagnetic spectrum, right? Could it be even more effective? Do they have something like this coursing through here? They seem pretty happy about it. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been so happy in my life. Just saying. What's going on, huh? Yeah, it's an image from Final Fantasy VII. That's Vincent. His girlfriend got trapped into a crystal. It's a long. That depiction I was telling you about a minute ago, guys. The Fountain of Light, Illumination Executor. Yeah, do you see how small the people are? And see that symbol on the top again? It's starting to look more like now, huh? Yeah. I don't know, man. Do you guys see how small the people are, though, at the bottom of this image? Looks. See, there's guy and his son or something, or his kid, right? And he's showing him the structure, and they don't even get to the top here of the fountain. They don't even make it to the middle of the light fountain here. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into what the fuck a light fountain is, right? Like back then in 1790, I don't know, dude. I'm starting to think they were more advanced than they're telling us. Fireworks. God, I hate people sometimes. Fireworks. There's 4th of July coming up. I'm gonna build a 500-foot fountain. I feel like I'm tripping sometimes, dude. 1878. Look how tall the ceilings are, guys. Give me a break. Most of us live in apartments. The ceilings, 10 feet high, 12 feet high, and that's a nice apartment, like 20 feet high ceilings, right? What is this? A 200-foot. Good God, man. Overkill much, right? Look at the detail. You're making that thing out of steel, right? I'm just saying. Don't get me started on the statues and stuff. Yeah, Flatzoid says, this has Freemason written all over it. Yeah, and I look into that name too. Like, what is it? Freemason, right? Freemason. Masonry, stonework, right? Free stonework? Because you guys inherited society. Because the meek already inherited the earth, my friend. That's what I think happened. The meek already inherited the earth. Look around you. We're like in freaking Idiocracy, the true story. It's insane anymore, right? Like, yeah, the meek already inherited the earth. Am I wrong? Go to Walmart and tell me the meek didn't inherit the earth already. Just saying. What is this world? What world are we in, guys? Look at this stuff. Just how do these people live? Everything marble, granite, pristine, gorgeous. You've never even stepped foot in a structure so beautiful. Give me a break. Oh, Flatzoid? I tried to watch Life of Pi. I got like halfway through it, I think. I gotta finish it. That's the one where he's in the boat with the tiger, right? Where he went to a place at night and everything was lit, even the trees and water. Yeah, always large arches, Well, I think that a big reason that our the cosmology has changed so much on us is because if we understand our cosmology, we understand how to utilize this radiant technology. It's tectonic. This stuff. It's self-powering. So when you understand that, you ever wonder why you have to have a permit to erect a structure, even on your own property that you've already paid off, even if you have a fence around it and everything, you still have to get a contract and all this stuff. You have to get a contractor and you have to get permission from the state to even erect a structure tall in the air. I wonder why. Is it because if you just erect, a big tower, your own property, just like what do you think the Tesla tower is all about? They don't want you doing that shit, guys. They don't want you doing that shit on your own property. Now that you understand this kind of stuff, it's well within your reach. It's well within your grasp. If you're not dependent on energy, you're not dependent on their system. They don't want that shit. Next thing you know, we're gonna live in stuff like this. Yeah, you need a solid level foundation. Imagine the foundation on this thing, huh, Parkway? Now, maybe I'm the asshole here. You guys tell me. Does this not look like technology to you? Can somebody tell me why? Why? What does any of this have to do with religion? Making giant spires of spikes out of, conductive materials. Are these cathedrals, did they really generate power or something somehow? Using radiant energy? I don't know. Look, I like God too. I think God's great. I can honestly say I've never erected 100-foot freaking giant metal spike. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like a stretch there to me. I don't get it. I think that this stuff was tech, and all the stuff that survived, they told us, the church, right? The Roman Catholics took over and said, "Oh, no, they're cathedrals. You can come pray in them, right?" That's why a lot of the churches and stuff got turned into orphanages and stuff, right? They had to make a use for all this. You guys ever see those zoomed out images too of like the Giza complex and like a circuit board and stuff like that? I don't know how accurate that stuff is, but it makes you wonder sometimes. You know, I got some copium. Figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, figure 4, they're all different ways of harnessing it and utilizing it, and from different sources as well. See? And now I'm not going to get into too much on whether Tesla was a real person or not, because what do I think? If he was a real person, I don't think that dude they show us is really him. I think that they had a lot of technology to explain off, and patents to explain off, and technology to explain off for for the new generation after the reset. And Tesla might have been one of the figurehead. Ever wonder why it's like the same 5 inventors invented everything? You really think Edison invented all those things? Give me a fucking break, Edison. Yeah, Tesla's radiant energy. The patent refers to the sun as well as other sources of radiant energy. That the device works at night is explained in terms of nighttime availability of rays. Tesla also refers to the ground. This is important, guys. It has to be buried underground. That's your ground. If you don't have a pole, it's not going to work. Another reason you need a contractor gets a foundation and all that stuff, because they don't want you having a foundation of copper and accidentally doing this shit to yourself. You get what I'm saying? Tesla also refers to the ground as a vast reservoir of electricity of negative charge. Tesla was fascinated by radiant energy and its free energy possibilities. He called the Crookes radiometer a device which has vanes that spin in a vacuum when exposed to radiant energy, a beautiful invention. He believed that it would become possible to harness energy, directly by connecting to the very wheel work of nature. Wheel in the sky, keep on turning, right? I don't know where I'll be tomorrow because you're reincarnating. Anybody? No? Stairs to nowhere? Anybody? Giant stone stairs, melted stone stairs to nowhere? Anybody? Maybe the Native Americans made it, huh? The Native Americans, they were getting some corn. They had maize, right? Maize. And then they made these gigantic stairs to nowhere. That's cool. Looks like they've been devastated by some kind of event, but what do I know? I'm just a curious little rhino. We go from on the left, right, to on the right. Doesn't on the left really seem to describe what we've been going over, guys? Does that not look like radiant energy being utilized? Tell me, does the depiction on the left not look like radiant energy being utilized, right? Did they overload the circuit board to create the image on the right? Yeah, Flatsoy says, how impractical would giant steps be for us normal people? Yeah, exactly. Like, they tell us we built this thing. Yeah, we built it and we made freaking steps that are too big to climb. Give me a fucking break. Install our intelligence, right? They think we're stupid, guys. They really do. And then they get in a corner with us and they realize we're the most fucking well-read people they've ever met in their life. And they fucking run away with their tail between their legs of them. Anyways, yeah, on the left here, you're going to notice we got these narrow-looking pyramids. You're going to see a lot of these guys. You're going to see a lot of these. Pay attention. And check out the depiction here. It looks so Roman. I've never seen pyramids like that. Really tall like that. Like narrow. So narrow, huh? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you just filled the night sky. I mean, yeah, it's right there. You feel like you're moving, you should see a doctor, right? And you guys can kind of see on the right here, you can see the insides of the spires, these towers we've been talking about. And you can see that it's not just a hunk. It's not one solid hunk of anything. I think a lot of people want us to think that these towers, like they're just decorative or they're just, commemorative or they're to attribute something to a god or something, right? But then you look at the insides of these, right? It looks all intricate, like detailed, like a piece of machinery or something. I'm just saying, if you're going to erect a stone pillar for the god whatever, right? Why would you go through so much trouble to make it so intricate? See in the top left of the image on the right? Like, why? Is it because it's really technology? Huh? There's the arches on the left again. Flatzoid was talking about always the arches, right? Not only is it a great design, but I'm pretty sure it's their depiction of the firmament. To be honest, because the ancients knew about the true cosmology of the Earth, guys, and they depict it in their architecture everywhere. Yeah, so I don't think there's any normies here. If there are, no disrespect, basically what they tell you is that, and this very well may be the case, but they tell us that these things were carved out. They were carved out by simple native people, tribal type people. A lot of them couldn't read and write, things like that. They just carved these things out and they live primitively, right? What I'm saying is, I think this whole thing, this whole mountain you're looking at, everything about it was once one structure, and it's been melted and messed up through some kind of event. That's what I think when I look at this stuff. Because if you look really close, you can still see that this, especially on this third row on the top here, that it's just this more building. It's just been melted a bit. You can see the doorways and you can see the arches. I mean, it does say in the Bible, right, that the earth Lord, right? I remember I told you I think that stuff already happened, guys. That stuff already happened. All right, so this is gonna get trippy, guys. I know it's been trippy, but it's gonna start getting really trippy. These are some of the books we're gonna go over. Okay, here they are. If you want to look over them, Peter van der 1729. Here's some information on him if you want to research more. He was born 1659, died 1733. So that should give you a good time frame of what we're looking at here. He was a Dutch publisher, best known for preparing maps and atlases. So since he's a publisher, it's even fair to say that he's publishing older works, right? So these images and maps and things we're going to see are at the oldest 1733. That's the oldest. That's the newest, most recent date we're going to get for these upcoming images. Okay, just thought I'd clarify a little bit. I didn't really see anything significant in this image other than it was cool. Check out, he's got a spike on his horse's head to stab people with, right? Whoa. Damn. They're not playing games, huh? Oh, Flatzoid. All right, buddy. Have a good day, man. Thanks for being here. In the back here, we got a spire, right? Looks like kind of some of that tech we were looking at earlier. Looks like maybe it's even set to a balloon or something. Huh? It kind of reminds me of some Russian stuff, architecture. Over here these guys are, you can see on the right, they're still rocking the Celtic cross. It hasn't been turned into the Roman Catholic cross yet. You can see in the structure on the left too, it's still the Celtic cross. Which, if you guys don't know, the Celtics and that original religion and all that stuff has been like the most suppressed in history ever, and that's like, in my opinion, those are the true Atlantis guys. Was the ancient Celts and all that. That's why Viracocha and all these depictions and the Buddha are depicted as Caucasian, blue eyes, because they're Irish or something like that. Anyways, yeah, here's some familiar stuff, and pay attention to these spires on the top. Okay, see the shape of the spires. See the shapes. Now pay attention. Now this is Ogum. I don't know, Ogum. I don't actually know how to pronounce it. Sorry. The tree grove. It's an ancient language. Celtic stuff, Irish stuff, Scottish, whatever. Yeah, and they would make these marks, and each letter is associated with a tree, right? And I thought it was interesting that the symbol that they carry around everywhere is this one, is the pine tree. See on the left? See the Celtic cross? Now, why do they venerate the symbol so, right? I guess it could be the vine tree. It kind of looks like the vine tree as well. But I thought we're going to focus on the pine right now. You'll see why in a second. The pine, coincidentally, right, underneath the pine tree grows the, Amanita muscaria mushroom. It's a fly agaric. It's, psychedelic. And we're not going to get too much into it today, guys, but, what do you think Christmas ornaments are? The Scandinavian shamans would hang them from the trees so people could pick them because they have to dry before you can eat them. Otherwise, they're toxic. So they would do this. That's what Christmas ornaments are. And the red-nosed reindeer are the reindeer eating the Amanita muscaria, the red Amanita muscaria underneath the pine trees. That's what the red-nosed reindeer is. The gifts underneath the tree, the red presents, the red bow on the presents underneath this Christmas tree symbolism. Yeah, it's the mushrooms that grow underneath the tree. So yeah, we're not going to go too into it today, but Santa was a druid. And this is a really big rabbit hole. If you guys feel like researching that, it's a big one. Santa was a druid, bro. Just saying. And I think that's why they worship or whatever that symbol, because that's the symbol they have associated in their language with the pine tree. You see what I'm saying? Which is where these grow from. You get what I'm saying, guys? And later, the Roman Catholics made it longer at the bottom. Yeah, the Druids. It's interesting, right? And just who the fuck were the Druids exactly, right? We get stories ranging from being, nature-loving, peaceful wizards or whatever, and other stories are, sacrificing babies and doing blood rituals and stuff. So just who were they exactly? How many different versions of Druids are there? Just what, right? Is there a science behind this that we just don't understand? It's been lost to us? I don't know. The more the architecture, I can see the science in the architecture, the more I'm starting to wonder, these staffs they're carrying around and stuff, all these people, right? Were they some form of technology? I mean, obviously they do something. Right? In the Bible? Yeah, so, I was like, wow, I guess, they rode panthers back then, or riding in the middle, guys. I think this might be symbolic of the constellations or something. Because I just don't think this guy in the middle is really riding this thing with this cup out and this sword like this. And these two guys in the back headbutting each other. I think we might be looking at some kind of representation of constellations. But it's interesting because on the bottom, I translated it. It's talking about their clothes. All the images you guys are going to see, like the next 20 slides or so, it's about their clothes. It's allegedly, the translators are telling us that these images are about their clothes, okay? But I'm saying that I think the images here. Now, I translated this one. We got the exorcist men and women in their beautiful clothes in China. I was like, okay, wow, those are some beautiful clothes in China. Moving on. Wait, hold on. Whoa. Hold on a second. What the hell is that in the bottom right corner? And what is it doing? Anybody? I'm going to tell you what I think, okay? I looked at this image for a while, okay? I think if you can see those vines coming from this lady's, what's wrapped around her waist looks like vines. And it looks like he's making more of these vines with his breath. He's spitting something out, the creature on the right, and he's making vines or something. He's making something that's going around this lady's dress, right? That's going around this lady's robe, huh? What's even going on in this picture, huh? It looks like there's a guy in the middle trying to tell him, hey, guys, don't fight. Or something, huh? What's going on here? We're looking like the first Pokemon battle? What the fuck? I'm tripping, huh? So I thought I'd dig a little deeper, right? Somehow I dig a little deeper. So yeah, this thing seems to be spitting out material, some kind, huh? So I looked into exorcism. I thought maybe there's more to the word. The ancient use of the word that has more to this. You can see we got administration of an oath. exorcismos, administration of an oath, bind by oath, cause to swear, oath, restriction, tie, obligation, a magical power that fences in the swearer. That's weird, right? And that's the oldest depiction of that word or understanding of that word. Fences in the swearer. What is this thing doing? Is he fencing her in? Is he going to continue making her a tree? She's holding a branch, extending an olive branch. Is this a peace offering of some kind? It would have been one thing if that was the only image, but then, here's this guy. And I'm like, okay, it's just another day. Have some copium. Just another day in Grand Tartary, right? This one says Chinese sorcerers and wizards standing in rocks and pitfalls. And you see this creature on the right again. It looks a little different. And it looks like the material it's spitting out is different as well. But again, we have a little frog-looking creature. I can't recognize it. It's spitting out something. And it's I don't know. Is this guy? Is it making a chair for this guy? I spent a lot of time on these images, guys. I have no freaking clue. But, to fence in the swearer, like, is this thing fencing in? Is this guy swearing an oath to this spirit? And it's fencing him in now? I don't know. And it sounds really crazy, right? But when you really think about it, I mean, that's where silk comes from, right? Like an animal eats it and then spits it out, pretty much. A cow eats the grass, pees out the milk, right? So that's what I'm saying is, were there animals that existed in the past that we don't have now that can create things materials and elements that we're unaware of now that we don't have access to now? And that got me thinking, gosh, that sounds familiar. Like, where have I heard this kind of stuff before, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of the Shamir worm. It's from the Talmud, sacred texts. There are many references to the Shamir. It's a magical object, possibly living and possessing mysterious powers. It could disintegrate anything with a glance. The rabbinical literature describes it as being used by Moses to carve part of the breastplate of the high priest, the Urim or Thummim, used for divination. King Solomon was eager to possess the Shamir because he had heard about it from earlier days. After a tremendous search, the Shamir was found in a distant country, in the depths of a well, and brought to Solomon. King Solomon stole Shamir from the Hopo bird that guarded it for Asmodeus, the king of demons. King Solomon then used its power to construct the temple. I was like, wow, we got like another little thing that eats stuff and spits it out. Like, I don't know. This kind of reminded me of what we were just seeing, guys. I'm not sure, man. Tripping me out, though. In the Testament of Solomon, the Shamir is described as a green stone, like a laser, can cut stone with a mere glance. However, scholars have evidence that the Shamir is a Baraya, creation, ex nihilo, in Kabbalistic terminology, the second of the four spiritual worlds, the realm of spiritual existence, which represents the first beginnings of a consciousness of self. Therefore, it is alive and thought to have been formed on the sixth day of creation. So this is a living thing that can work for you to cut stone without tools. That's what Solomon used. Because don't forget, Lord Sabaoth doesn't like us using iron tools. That's consistent with the Book of Enoch. Lord Sabaoth is Yahweh, but that's your God, by the way. The Shamir has been most often interpreted as a kind of worm or salamander. Salamanders are protective, healing, and impervious to fire. It is recorded as being the size of a barley corn, 1/3 of an inch, and it apparently could disintegrate stone, wood, iron, and diamond. Holy crap. The material to be carved was merely shown to the Shamir, which went to work implementing the architectural plans. This implies that the Shamir had eyes in order to keep its powers from accidental discharge. The Shamir was said to have been kept wrapped in wool and kept in a lead box. Now, this little creature that creates stuff and really reminds me of those images we just saw with those things spitting stuff out, guys. With the beautiful Chinese people in their beautiful clothes. The clothing catalog we just saw. Yeah, there's a dude flying on a giant bird back there. So it must be symbolic of something. I wasn't able to translate what it says on the bottom. It was too small. I couldn't make it out. Art diabolique. Hey, what's up, Dad?
Fuck.
Take me back to the old world, guys. Oh yes, that level we're on. What's up, buddy? Oh, Shari Eyes, what's up? Hey, good to see you. With the black heart, I wonder who you are. Yeah, we still have silkworms. Exactly. Yeah, we still got silkworms. So is it so unbelievable to think that there were animals in the past that maybe are extinct or unknown to us now that could do other things, right? I mean, Solomon seemed to have a worm that could eat through stone. I mean, shit. Yeah, silkworms are a trip, though. Take me back to the old world, please. What do you guys think happened? So yeah, now you have a little more understanding how this kind of technology works. Having metal in the air can create electricity and currents and stuff. Is this stuff imagery, or is it technology? Looks pretty intricate just for a hat, wouldn't you say? The depictions, they have very big, elaborate hats on. I don't think it's just with your brain. They sure do like to make fun of the tinfoil hats. I don't know, maybe there's some truth to that kind of stuff. You guys are noticing those Ojim symbols again, huh? See what the old school cross was supposed to look like, how it looks? This before the Roman Catholics. Before the cross symbolism. Yeah, what do you guys think of? Anybody make out what they're doing? Oh, I see a lady sitting down. Looks like she's hitting together two wooden paddles, long, narrow paddles, and on her head, wood, more wooden, the base of a wooden chair, tie up, connected to her head, and behind her there's a guy sitting on said chair, and that guy is holding two sticks and a circle with more circles on it, and the lady on the left has a barrel she's turning with a bell. So yeah, just another day in the mainstream narrative, guys. I don't know. Their clothes look great though. I don't know what the fuck we're supposed to be seeing, if this isn't technology or some kind of telekinetic stuff or what. Oh, by the way, these are supposed to be Japanese people. That person in the middle does not look Japanese to me. Yeah, anybody? This guy's just another day hunting, right? So, what is that? Anybody? I spent a lot of time looking at this one. It's like some kind of weird pitchfork on the end of a trombone, a spiked trombone, and he's got a paddle in his left hand, right? He's got the paddle, okay. In his right hand, he's got the paddle. In his left hand, he's got um. Anybody? What is this thing? Mainstream historian? Anything? Yeah. So I don't understand. I certainly don't understand. Is he gonna shoot that pitchfork at it? Is the pitchfork emitting a frequency of some kind to get the duck? Is it, it shoots it shoots the trident at them with you, you blow in. No, it's facing the wrong way. You blow into it. He's not blowing into it. Yeah. So there's that, everybody. Appreciate all the input. Yeah, translate this one for us. We got big by nature and big eaters of men. So yeah, it's just a clothing catalog, guys. The first thing I thought when I saw this one was Fenrir Greyback from Harry Potter, right? What is that? So it looks like the tribe in the top left in the background, they're running away from these guys. These guys must be cannibals, obviously. Look how ferocious this dude looks, man. He's gonna eat him right now. Holy crap, huh? Gosh, so much cannibal stuff in the past. It's crazy. Was there really not that much food around? I mean, a lot of these places be very. There's all the forests that are tens of thousands of years old, right? There should be plenty of fruits and stuff around, right? Why so much cannibalism? Unless something happened recently. How badass these guys are, huh? It reminds me of like Dune, right? The Bene Gesserit sisterhood from Dune. So their clothes look like. Nothing really significant about this one. I just thought it was kind of cool. Yeah, they're playing tetherball in the back. I don't know what that is. I guess what wind the direction's blowing. I don't know. Look, or they're playing tetherball. I don't know. Yeah, these are the clothes of the Chinese or something like that. Air adjustment clothes, air and adjust clothes or something. Chinese, yeah. Uh, so I've had people say that, oh, they're not tall people. It's just a close up, to so you can see the clothes better. I was like, that's cool. I mean, there's a little guy on the left, but okay. Uh, so that's the case, right? There's the little Joe on the right again. I'm really starting to wonder if all this, noble blood, not noble blood thing in the far past they tell us about, and if you weren't noble blood, you're basically a slave. I'm starting to think that noble blood meant you were tall like these guys are not, right? Because I'm thinking the dude on the right and the dude on the left, that's their slave, right? Or something. I don't know. Either way, I think these guys are tall. I think these guys are actually big. And we do see real pictures like this. Uh, yeah, this one's supposed to be a work of fiction, but sometimes I wonder. Check out this guy. He's gonna marry this giant lady. At first, because her ready to marry the dude on the right, right, and the tall dude in the back, right. But you can see here that's her dad or something because he's seeing her off in the image on the right. Yeah, this guy on the left is marrying her, and it's supposed to be from a fictional story of this guy named Voltaire. We're gonna go over it later. He flew all over the world in his winged outfit. It's supposed to be a complete work of fiction, but I really do wonder about that one. So yeah, as we were saying earlier, you know, oh, their clothing catalogs. Let's in the very recent translation by the British, right? Okay. Well, why is there a naked kid there then? Why are there naked people for the clothing catalog? I thought every single person was an opportunity to show off the clothes, right? Anywho, yeah, here's Chinese bakers hurt themselves. So I thought like circus would have been a more believable lie or something, but circus performers, right? Yeah, this dude over here's got his head on fire. This dude on the right's stuck. It's gone hits the head with a rock. That's a good trick. Just feel like that dude on the left just hit myself on the head with the rock enough until it clicks. Yeah, here's Mongols, I guess, huh? Tartarian out big time. Intricate work. This shield. Look at that. Elephant. Dude's riding an elephant. Now this is supposed to be a depiction of a marabou. It's a Muslim holy man or hermit, especially in North Africa. Now look how big the people are at the foot of this gazebo, huh? I mean, how little the people are at the foot of this gazebo. That first step leading to the gazebo is about as tall to their above their knee, at least above their waist, maybe even. It looks like it might even be buried a little bit, like something happened. See on the top, the tops of the spires, we got the tech again, guys. Yeah, these are supposed to be the clothes of the marabouts and marabouts in barbarism. Now, I want you to pay attention to this clothes, okay? Because this is what they tell us look like in modern depiction, okay? This is what they'll teach you in school what they look like, all right? We go from a guy in front of, gigantic structures and these huge obelisks and, very clean clothes and very detailed, ornate clothes. See that? He's wearing a robe, tucking a robe with clothes, buttons all the way up, right? This is what they tell us marabouts are now. We got a guy in rags with the sand and the dirt, straw huts, people cowering in the shade. You know what I mean? That's what they tell us. This is what they've reduced our ancestors to. This is the modern depiction. Yep, same thing, right? Same thing, guys, huh? Now we got a straw hat, right? Something happened. I don't know. Anyways, this is what the structures look like nowadays after something happened. Because definition 2 for the marabou is a shrine marking the burial place of a Muslim holy man or hermit. Oh, hermit, how interesting, huh? Like the Hermetic philosophies, right? Like all that stuff. Could this be more related to the occult? See on the top, we got the depiction of the earth again with the four corners, the four columns, and the dome, the firmament above. And I'm just going to say that image on the far right, that structure he's leaning against, looks a lot like those metal structures we saw earlier with the big metal spires. So that thing looks like melted technology. I don't know what the heck it's supposed to be otherwise. I don't know. That thing went through something, and it was magnificent when it was first up. Yeah, here it's here in the background. Look, what is this? We got a really smoothed out obelisk with a giant spire at the top. Man, that thing looks so much like technology. I see routers and modems and stuff with stuff like that on top of it nowadays. You know what I mean? Just saying. Oh, here we got the orbs of 73. Check out the architecture. big spires again. Spires, almost like it's integral. This is an interesting story. Yeah, these balls just appeared, and they bounced around and stayed in the sky for months. Yeah, this is a really weird one. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this one. I mentioned towards the beginning of this presentation, I was saying how we have depictions of hell being rained from the sky above and doing all kinds of weird things to us. What are we seeing here, huh? This is just one such depiction. This is supposed to be an event that actually happened, by the way. This isn't supposed to be work of fiction. Now, again, they're telling us this is a clothing catalog, this one, okay? These are the clothes of the people of the nations, okay? Now, they're trying to pass this off as a hat, okay? But I'm sure some of you guys, if you're interested in this field, have seen this before. Also, see the guy on the right with the elongated skull? You guys have seen this before, right? Now, I thought this was interesting because, they tell us, oh, yeah, there's Homo erectus, right? We all came from these things, with the Homo. And look at all these different ones, right? So just how many different types of mankind were there exactly in the past, huh? This image in the top left looks very much to me like this dude sitting in the middle. I'm just saying. These could have very well been a people, okay? Herodotus writes a lot about them. Aristotle writes about stuff like that. Yeah, I didn't think really anything significant about this one other than, gosh, these guys are massive, huh? Do you guys get the vibe that these guys aren't just close up, that they're huge? Like, even the way they walk is like, their arms are like way out, like they're bulky, Look at the size of those guns. Holy crap. This is supposed to be like right around the time guns were invented and stuff. Don't forget. Yeah, so what's going on? Obviously, we got some kind of destruction of the old world here. This is someone getting ready for the parade. Just thought it was an interesting picture. It looks cool. Clothes are awesome. What is that, huh? I don't know why. I get the vibe like if this person got up, they'd just absolutely dwarf this person on the left. You guys remember what I was saying earlier about how we can see these statues, and I think that they're technology. And I'm going to show you later where we have you can actually see the insides of some of these statues, and you can actually see the intricate workings that they're actually machinery. With that understanding, I think this dude on the right here, he's not, especially the way he's looking at it, he's not looking at it like I'm building this. I think he's looking at it like he's he's an engineer. He's this technology or something, or he's trying to understand this technology or something. I mean, obviously something happened, right? You get lots of depictions like this. I thought this was interesting. I just translated this. Tyranny extinguisher at the top. City author's bow. Trier and 3 rostrum. Trier is Treves or Triers is a city on the banks of Moselle in Germany. And Triceptiumque simulacrum, 3-headed image. So we got here Trier and the 3 rostrum. I was like, okay, so Trier's a place, right? So what's a rostrum, right? So it could just be this. It could just be, a raised platform on which a person stands to make a public speech, or a metal play music. And I was starting to think, what else? And then I saw its second definition, right? A zoology definition. It's a beak-like projection, especially a stiff, stout anterior prolongation of the head or an insect, crustacean or cetacean. These beetles are very easily recognized by the rostrum or beak. You guys know how they say parasites took over? We're going to go over a little bit more here, but just look at this image a bit. Does this look familiar? Like, what are we seeing here exactly? It could just be, I mean, I don't understand the title though. If that's the case, Trier and 3 Rostrum. So the city and 3 stages. Okay, that's it. That could be it, I guess. But I'm looking close at this thing, and I'm like, what the hell are these things? That image on the far right looks a lot to me like this thing in the bottom right, like the shrimp, like the beak extending. You know, like are we witnessing the parasitic takeover of the politicians? I'm not just pulling this out of my ass, guys. From the Emerald Tablets here, we got in ages past were they conquered by masters, driven below to the place whence they came. But some there were who remained, hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but at times they appeared among men. Aye, when the blood was offered, for they came they to dwell among men. In the form of man they lived amongst us, but only to sight were they as are men. Serpent headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to men as men among men. Crept they into the councils, crept they into the councils, taking forms that were like unto men, slaying by their arts the chiefs of the kingdoms, tyrannical extinguishers of tyranny, taking their form and ruling over man. Only by magic could they be discovered. Only by sound could their faces be seen. Sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. Sound familiar, anybody? Thoth, the Emerald Tablets. See, but I thought this imagery looked very similar. And we see stuff like this in on ruins too, you know. Right. There's Templum Severus. And maybe you guys will start to understand a little better what I mean when I say that our ancestors understood our true cosmology, and these temples often depict the firmament above, the dome above us, you know. And I mean, ask yourself, have you ever asked yourself why they went through all the trouble of making a dome structure over the ceiling in the center of all these things? Why the pillars around the dome structure every time the same way? Like, you know how hard it is to make a dome structure like that just for the fun of it? Especially when you're supposed to be just barely surviving and all this crap like they tell us in the narrative. Give me a break, dude. Look at this place. Give me a break. So I'm starting to think that these temples are really just like, they're misunderstood technology nowadays, and they're like, and we misunderstand the meaning. It's like, you know, I think you used to go to these places to literally be healed. You know, holy water, right? There's holy water in the churches. Anybody? Is this clicking for anybody? No, I thought this was interesting. This is Steichor's tomb. Now, Steichor's supposed to be, he's supposed to be a poet, okay? So, if you guys will notice, the image on the right is a giant crystal inside of his tomb or whatever, or above his tomb, I guess. So, why would a poet get such an elaborate burial, huh? Wow, he must have been one hell of a poet, huh? I mean, how much would that, even if that crystal was just, you know, quartz, the most common emerald on Earth, right, or mineral on Earth, right? Just to have a piece of quartz cut in the shape of a diamond, the way that thing is depicted like that, or even glass, would be an enormous undertaking. It would take a lot of money. It would be a huge project. It's just there, you know, to put over a poet's grave. Give me a break, dude. There's some crazy technology. Don't get me started on all the piezoelectric effects that you get with quartz and all the science behind, you know, mechanical stress and crystals and all this stuff, okay? Because we're looking at tech, folks. All right, they tell us these are tombs. These are, this is someone's grave. This is where they buried a poet. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'll become a poet. I'm sure they're going to put stuff. Oh, easy to do, right? Now here is a Stysrus in Greek. The only reason I really is basically making a poem slandering Helen, because Helen of Troy, was originally Helen of Sparta, and she betrayed Sparta and went to Troy. But he was being cursed for telling the truth in his story by Helen, and it made him go blind. Yeah, it made him go blind. So by the end of his story, he told, started saying good stuff about her, and then his blindness was cured. The only reason I thought this was interesting is because, I'm pretty familiar with the story of Helen of Troy, and she's supposed to be immortal. She's a queen in all this, but she's supposed to be just a regular mortal. She's not supposed to have powers to blind people and to restore sight and all this shit. So what I'm wondering is, what is the truth exactly, huh? Like, this Helen of Troy was some kind of deity, like somehow, right? Did people just have powers and things like that back then? Because from what I understand, Helen of Troy is just supposed to be a regular old lady, just some queen, some queen, and that's it. Final Fantasy. I'm telling you guys, they show us the truth in this stuff so much. It's so crazy. And even the name, right? Final Fantasy. It's a video game series. The Final Fantasy is, the end of the fantasy world. The end of the old world. See what they show us on the left? A big spiring tower. The crystal, or whatever you want to call it, in the middle. Harnessing energy. And they're using it as magic. Well, we would call it magic. It's really technology. So I don't know. Here's another one. It's from Final Fantasy IV. Yeah, so, again, we got the pillars. We got the crystal, gazebo-like structure. Right? Yeah, here's another one. This is also Final Fantasy IV. Probably one of my favorites. Yeah, there they are showing to Clan's Day, guys. Oh, and in this video game series, the crystals, they're telepathic a lot of times. People speak through them, things like that. We speak through crystals today. How do you think a walkie-talkie works? It's a piezoelectric effect. There's a quartz crystal in that thing. When you push the button down, you're creating mechanical stress on the quartz crystal, creating a signal. That's how you speak. So you literally speak through crystals too. But I'm sure you're just as quick to call me crazy, right? See what I mean? And yeah, I know earlier we covered we have geoengineering in the far past, and just how far back does this geoengineering go? And I posed the question: was it not only to harness energy, but was it also used as a weapon on other people? And I think when we see this, we're getting a depiction of just that. I think they may have been using geoengineering in the far past as war against each other, maybe even. What do you guys think? What are we seeing here? It trips me out. Yeah, here we got Palermo. Check out the Star Fort, huh? Look at those walls. Like I was saying earlier, usually when people say, "Oh, you could do looking out with their mouth," but there's the Tartaria symbol at the top left again, by the way. Blanket term for everybody. The unknown Mongolian demon hordes. Yeah, check that out. Malta. Interesting place, the rich history. They say Malta goes all the way down too. Like it just keeps going and going and going. And there's stories of tall people down there in robes walking around. It's a trip. What a coincidence. Here's the old map. It says Catacomb on the top. Gosh, look how big it is. Can you imagine getting lost down there? Trips me out. Yeah, so it looks like all the volcanoes went off at once, huh, guys? We got two volcanoes right next to each other going off at the same times. You know, where was this, huh? Sicily? This is Sicily. Is this supposed to be Pompeii? No, no. If it is, I didn't know there was two Pompeiis or whatever. Oh, three maybe on the left here. Goodness, it just trashed the place though. No wonder when we came to, we were just freaking caveman status again. No wonder it was so easy to deceive us, huh? We were messed up. What the hell is that thing, huh, guys? Would you eat that? Yeah, this one's a sad one. You can see that people are dealing with the cataclysm just happened or something because everyone's sad and crying and there's chaos going on and people offering up their babies and stuff. Left uh, on the right, this dude on the horse looks so sad. Oh my gosh, what happened? Oh, lost his family or something crazy, right? Even his horse looks sad, dude. They look totally Tartarian out, by the way. What do you guys think happened? I guess for now the mystery continues. Until next time, everybody. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate all of you. I was gonna do this in one big presentation, but I just don't want. It's been about an hour and a half, so we'll cut it into a couple. Huh? I really appreciate all of you, though. God bless everybody. Have a good day. Okay. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends. You guys know anybody into Tartaria and these kinds of weird topics? Definitely send them my way. I'd appreciate it. Well, have a good day, everybody. God bless.